Hello guys, I think we are now live. Let me know if everything is working correctly, because this is the first, well, this is not the first time, but it's this new setup and I'm still trying to figure out everything work correctly. I think everything is mostly working correctly. I see there's a little bit of problem with the camera, with the green screen camera on my shirt here. I see there's a little bit of flicker here, but I think that has to do with the blue color is too similar to my green screen in the background, so I believe it has to do with that, guys. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in tonight, and please let me know in the chat if everything is working correctly, if you can hear me, and so on. Any feedback is highly appreciated and helps me improve the setup and everything here. So thanks so much for joining everyone, and I hope you're having a great evening or night as it is in Norway. I think most of you guys viewing now should be from America. I've tried to do this live stream so that you guys in America can tune in as well. Because this is a more appropriate time for America. It's pretty bad time for me to do a live stream. It's in the middle of the night, but I'm doing this for you American guys. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in. And we have a lot of stories to talk about today. Different news topics and so on. In case you're new to this, this is a daily kind of a talk show thing where we go through the current news and events and so on. So let's just jump right into it. And by the way, I saw someone in that chat here was asking if that my preview screen, if I took that photo myself. Yes, I did. That's actually only so the starting soon picture that you saw on the screen before I came on. It was actually a photo I took here in Norway this summer. It's only about an hour away from my house actually, so it's very close. I literally live right here. It's really nice. So Norway is highly recommended if you want to go on a nice trip. It's very nice. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so yeah, if you want to see some beautiful nature, it's very nice in Norway. So by the way, if you're new here, make sure to smash that like button before we get started, and smash the like button later on as well. So that helps that does actually help get more viewers. Even though it's quite a small stream right now, hopefully we'll get more later on, but I actually enjoy these small streams with just a few guys, because then we get more, shall we say, more closer community in the chat. So it's nice. But let's jump into our story for today that I wanted to talk about. Regarding, many of you have probably seen, especially if you are younger, you've probably seen this NPC meme. I have seen it quite a few times, and apparently Twitter has been banning accounts that have been posting this NPC meme thing. So what is this? Well, let me bring up on screen here for you guys to see. I think that should, yeah, there we go. I think you should see it on screen now. So we have the NPC meme that many of you probably have heard about. It's this. It's basically a variation of this Wojak meme. It's called NPC. If you don't know NPC, that is the name for non-playable character in video games. So you know, if you play a video game, you could encounter random bot-like characters. So this meme is about basically it's calling liberals and people who are brainwashed by the mainstream media. These are basically people making fun of them, calling them NPCs, that they're just bots, they're just sheep, just walking around automated like a video game character. And it's quite hilarious because this has triggered the liberals so badly that the Twitter has been banning these accounts en masse. So Twitter are claiming it's some kind of election interference or something for the upcoming midterms elections. Basically, this article from New York Times says, last week a trolling campaign organized by right-wing internet users spilled over onto Twitter. The campaign was born on 4chan and involved creating hundreds of fictional personas with grey cartoon avatars known as NPCs. Over the weekend, Twitter responded by suspending 1,500 accounts associated with NPC trolling campaign. They say that the account violated Twitter's rules against intentionally misleading election-related content. So apparently now trolling campaigns are not... basically trolling is not allowed on Twitter now anymore, it seems. And as I said, NPC means a non-playable character, funny winner games, and so on and so on and so on. And basically they're just talking about all of that I explained here earlier. They're writing here in the New York Times. Here's an example of a NPC meme. Diversity is our strength, orange man bad, racist, and this is the NPC sheeple bot just parroting these politically correct talking points. And there's other variations of the meme, like this one from the CNN, where they made all the CNN hosts into NPC characters, which is quite funny actually. So basically that's what it's all about, and it has really triggered the liberals so much that they are all talking about it on the media. It has triggered all of the journalists, all of the liberals. It's actually quite hilarious how effective these 4chan trolling campaigns are. You know, if they didn't let them, basically, this is why they do it. This is why it works. Because they get triggered over it, and it's hilarious because they get triggered. Basically, that's how it works. So that's why we continue to see these trolling campaigns happen, and they will just continue to happen because the journalists, the liberals, they're not smart enough to realize that, you know, they don't feed the trolls basically, and that's what they're doing every time they get triggered over these memes. They cannot take a joke, basically. That's basically it. But what's more interesting is that Twitter has now been banning them for so-called election interference. And even the mainstream media themselves admit that this is not the Russian bots or anything, it's just people having fun. But still, Twitter has now been banning them for having fun, basically. So it's just all... I remember back in 2016... at the 2016 election, you had these things all over the place, and they were not banned by Twitter, but all of a sudden Twitter seems to be taking very much action on these things, which is just a part of the censorship campaign, really, in my opinion. So I don't know, what do you think about that, guys, in the chat? Press 1 if you like the NPC meme, press 2 if you don't like the NPC meme. Let's see which one wins. If you have heard about the NPC memes, let me know in the chat, guys. All right. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna go over to our next story, which also has to do with political correctness. Let me just bring it up on screen. Just 1 second. There we go. So, we have Kleenex. You've probably heard of Kleenex, your regular tissues. They are now ditching their man-size tissues because feminists are complaining it's sexist to call them man-size. The UK's most popular tissue brand, Kleenex Man Size, has been forced to clean up its image after consumers complaining its name was sexist. After more than 60 years, Kleenex is phasing out the Man Size tissues name, deciding to instead call it Extra Large. So, yeah. Kimberly Clark, which owns Kleenex, said it's succumbed to growing public demand to change the name, despite not herself believing that the man-size branding suggests or endorses gender inequality. Now, this is just another attack. But basically, my question is, who are these people that they say consumers complain this name was sexist? Who were they? How many people were they? Was it just, I don't know, 2 or 3 outraged SJW feminists? Is that the consumers who were complaining? Because I kind of think so. I don't think any normal person would be offended over a man-size tissue. You know, why would anyone be offended over that? That's just stupid. Men are larger than women. This tissue is large. Call it man size. I see no problem. It's just another attack on masculinity and on men. That's basically what this is. They've been doing this for a long time now through political correctness. They've been doing this a long time, and we've finally come to the point now where they're literally trying to abolish the word man from public discourse. Basically, they're trying to abolish anything with man in it. That's what's happening here, and you have to say no and say that this is just stupid. And they had this for 60 years, but all of a sudden now it's not okay anymore. Why? Why did it suddenly become not acceptable after 60 years? It's this agenda against men. That's why. So I think it's just really sad to see. Going back to our poll, by the way, I see you guys in the chat, the NPC poll that I asked you guys about. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. It looks like most of you guys pressed 1, so you support the NPC meme. Apparently, Kate Valenti says that Facebook has great NPC meme pages. Okay, I'm not much on Facebook, so I don't know too much, but okay. So apparently there are a lot on Facebook, but not on Twitter. Going on this man thing issue, we have quite an interesting story tonight. Let me just see if I can find it. Here we go. From The Guardian, of course. So let's bring that up on screen. There we go. So the UK is looking into making so-called misogyny a hate crime, and at the same time they're also looking to make misandry a hate crime. So basically, misogyny is what they would call hating women or something. They were looking to make that a hate crime, and misandry at the same time they also have to look at that and make that a hate crime as well, women hating men. But the feminists are not happy. They're not happy about this. The Guardian is writing an article here. Making misandry a hate crime will embolden abusive men. It's already too easy for men to cry foul every time a woman says or does anything they don't like. Don't enshrine that in law. It's kind of like a double standard. They want to make so-called misogyny a hate crime. Whenever a man says something bad to a woman, that's misogyny and it's a hate crime and should put them in prison and everything. But the other way around, when women say something bad to men, that should not be enshrined in law. That will be too easy for men to cry foul every time a woman says anything that a man doesn't like. So, no, they don't want that. We are kind of seeing a huge double standard right here. Let me read on the article here for you guys. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. A campaign started by the Labour MP Stella Casey to consider misogyny as a form of hate crime has resulted in the Law Commission deciding to consider whether misandry should also be categorized as a hate crime too. It's the ultimate example of whataboutery, this author writes. When a group of people cries, what about X, to distract attention from any legitimate discussion of Y. So basically what this writer is saying that they're just trying to distract from the real issue of misogyny, where men are mean towards women, by saying that women are also mean towards men. But wait on a second here, isn't this whataboutery what this person is actually doing here now? Because there are women that are mean to men, but she is doing a whataboutery here, saying that it is a whataboutery. Isn't that kind of what's going on here? Or did I get this wrong? While misogyny has centuries of research, evidence, statistics, law and legislation, oppression, death and suffering behind it, misandry is harder to pinpoint. Some people even ask the question, does misandry even exist? This is not because we believe that men are not harmed, that men cannot be abused or oppressed, but simply because misandry seems to be thrown around gender women for like very small things that are not hatred towards men. But aren't this kind of what they're doing towards men though? When women, you know, this mansplaining and manspreading things, they say that there's misogyny towards women. Isn't that kind of really throwing things around very, very loosely? I don't know, I kind of got the feeling that the mental capacity here is not that high, to be completely honest, when I read this article. But what do you expect? It's The Guardian. There really is not that much mental capacity going around at The Guardian to start with. And so when they talk about basically blah 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 blah, and yeah, I don't know if I want to read anymore. I'm just getting a bit depressed just reading all this to see the state of the mental capacity of some people around today. It's really sad to see, actually. But the thing that's basically happening here is that feminists want to make it illegal to say anything mean, that men shouldn't be allowed to say anything mean towards women. But when it's the other way around, when women are saying anything mean to men, that should definitely be allowed and should not be made into law to make it illegal. It's the perfect example of double standards. It's the perfect example of hypocrisy. It's basically can't understand why anyone would read this and not see the hypocrisy. Or am I doing something wrong? Am I thinking wrong here? I don't know. You guys in the chat will have to help me out if there's anything I'm missing here, because I just think this is a huge double standard. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the chat. And by the way, make sure to smash that like button, guys. That helps give the video more views. We're quite a small stream right now, but that's okay. I enjoy streaming to you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching. And by the way, if you want to support the show, I have this new super chat function here. I have this tip jar thing. So if you want to support the show, all super chat donations, by the way, it will play the Swedish national anthem on screen, and your name will pop up, and actually money will pour into this jar as well, which is quite a funny animation. So if you want to support the show, anything is highly appreciated. And you'll get rewarded with a Swedish national anthem playing on screen, thanks to this new streaming setup that I have going here. All right, just going through some of your chats, guys. Lord Wilson says, let's make misandrist a hate crime. Misandrist a person dislikes, despises, or is strongly prejudiced against men. Yeah, to be honest, I would disagree. I don't think we should make it a hate crime at all. We shouldn't make misogyny a hate crime. We shouldn't make misandry a hate crime. We shouldn't make anything a hate crime. Hate crime is just a made up thing by the left to control public discourse, to restrict freedom of speech, to restrict freedom of opinion. You should be allowed to say whatever you want. Hate is not a crime. Hate is a natural human emotion. If you suppress that, that could be dangerous. Hate is not a crime in itself. Do I think people should hate? No, absolutely not. I don't think you should do that. But should you make it a crime? Absolutely not. That's even worse. So you should not make hate a crime. You should ban people from making hate crime a thing, in my opinion. That's just stupid, and it's a very dangerous path towards totalitarianism and authoritarianism. that's what they did in Soviet Union. If you said anything bad against the government, well, that was hate crime. Into the gulag with you. If you said anything bad against Hitler, well, that's a hate crime too. Into the Gestapo system you go. That's how all dictators work, and it's a very scary thought that they would actually be bringing this back in this way. I don't know. What do you think, guys, in the chat? Let me know. Okay, let's go on to our next story from Sweden. I believe we have a story. Let me just try and find it. Yes, here we have it. You probably have heard of this before. The girl who stopped the deportation of a Afghan asylum seeker on the plane. Hang on a second. I just had the band sound in the chat. Sorry about that. Alright. So, we have this story from Sweden. The woman who was, you probably remember her, the woman Elin Ersson, the woman who stopped a Afghan man's deportation on the plane, is actually now facing prosecution. I'm actually surprised that Sweden is following the law and prosecuting this person who did an illegal thing and stopped the deportation of a guy on the plane. Elin Ersson, a Swedish woman who captured international attention this summer after she successfully halted an Afghan man's deportation by refusing to sit down on an airplane, is reportedly facing prosecution. Swedish prosecutors announced that Ersson will be prosecuted at Gothenburg District Court for crimes against aviation law. In July, the 21-year-old university student live-streamed herself refusing a request to sit down on a plane that was carrying a 52-year-old Afghan asylum seeker. And in case you don't know, by the way, that guy had actually been convicted of assaulting a woman, his wife, I believe it was. I can't remember exactly now, but he was actually convicted in court for having assaulted a woman. And she stopped and she was so upset, and she was crying on the plane and stopped his deportation. Now she's facing prosecution. She was standing in the aisle and screaming and crying to try and stop the deportation. You know what I think? I think you should just let this one be deported together with the guy from Afghanistan. You should just let her go to Afghanistan as well and see how if she thinks it's so good to have these people coming here, maybe she should go there and see how good it is as well. This is feminist logic right here. This man was convicted of having assaulted a woman, but she actually is stopping his deportation, making this guy is clearly a risk to society, having attacked people before. And as Keith Valenti says, it was actually his wife and children that he had attacked. I think you're correct in the chat there. It was his wife and children that he had assaulted. He's a danger to society. But this feminist who pretends to care about women then goes ahead and stops the deportation of this guy by crying on the plane and screaming on the plane and acting like a child, basically. This is basically feminist logic in a nutshell. And it deserves to be ridiculed because it's pretty non-logical. Yeah. So let's see what else we have. We have some more things to talk about here before the time is getting too late. As I said, it's actually 2 a.m. In Norway right now, where I am in the middle of the night. I'm trying to do this stream a little bit late to see if we get some more American viewers on here, in case my other streams were a little bit too early at night. So see how this works out with a little bit later stream. See if we get some more American viewers joining us. So we have a story from Sweden again. Let me find it. Hang on a second. So Sweden has now begun, as I report on this actually last year, and now, well, early this year at least, but now it's coming into effect. Sweden is beginning its hand grenade amnesty. You heard it correct. Sweden has now has a hand grenade amnesty. So in case you don't know, Sweden last year Sweden had 50 hand grenade attacks, about 200 bombing attacks last year in total. 50 of them were hand grenades. Earlier this year in February, a pensioner was actually killed when he was actually killed by a hand grenade that he found randomly in the street when he was out biking. His wife was injured as well. But Sweden has a serious problem with hand grenades. You have all these criminal gangs that are running certain areas, these no-go zones, and basically they're selling machine guns, AK-47s, drugs, and hand grenades. And it's actually surprisingly cheap to get hand grenades in Sweden. About $150, somewhere around that price for a hand grenade. And often when they buy, for example, machine guns, AK-47s, they get a good amount of hand grenades just as goodies on the purchase. So it's really easy to get hold of these things in Sweden. But now the Swedish government has this genius solution of a grenade amnesty. So a grenade amnesty period begins in Sweden this week, with the government guaranteeing those who hand in explosive devices to police will not face arrest or prosecution. The weapons amnesty is taking place between October 15th to January 11th of next year, and is aimed at getting grenades and other explosives off the streets where they are being used by organized criminal gangs. I am sure that this is going to be a huge success. I can just imagine you have these hardened criminal gangs who are willing to go ahead and buy machine guns and hand grenades and drugs and things like that. They are willing to go and buy them in the first place. Why on earth would I then go and hand them in freely to the police in an amnesty? Okay, they won't get thrown in prison, but hey, why on earth would you go and hand in your weapons freely to the police when you could just keep them? The police are not going to find them anyway. They're so useless at the moment that they actually have to have an amnesty in the first place in order to get them off the streets. I don't think that these people are going to want to hand them in freely, if you kind of get what I'm saying. I kind of get the feeling that they are not the type of people who are freely going to be hand over their grenades just for fun, unless they do something with by force. You know, you have to send in the military and deal with this properly, not do a amnesty. That's just hilariously stupid. So reading on, the weapons amnesty is actually not the first in Swedish history, but it is different in that those with explosives are not encouraged to bring them to police stations, but call for qualified explosive disposal officers. So people now can just come to the police station with the grenade and just hand it over. I don't know about that idea actually, because what if they want to hand in the grenades with the pin missing? You get what I'm saying? Because that has happened before. Police stations have been... Criminals have actually already done this in Sweden. Criminals have already handed over their hand grenades to the police stations in Sweden. Only that the pin happened to be missing though from the grenade, so it kind of didn't go very well with the handing over process, if you understand what I mean. So they kind of already done this, the criminals, but they did it without pins inside it. So it went off. I kind of get a feeling that it's a really bad idea to to encourage these guys to come with the grenades to them, to the police station. Just walking around with a grenade in your pocket, just coming into the police station. Oh, here you go. Here you have a grenade just handing over the desk. I think that's a pretty bad idea, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, guys, in the chat? Do you think a grenade amnesty is a good idea, or do you think it's bad? Press 1 for good, press 2 for bad. I think it's a bad idea, if you ask me. I think anyone with any brain at all would think this is a pretty horrible idea. It's I don't know. It's just oh, I'm lost. It's Sweden. I'm lost for words. Sweden is Sweden, and there's a reason that Sweden is going the way it's going, and you can see why. There's really nothing much more to add. Going on to our next story from Sweden as well. Hang on a second, let me just bring it up on screen. So, we have a child refugee with a flagship Samsung phone and gold watch complains about the Swedish benefits. Swedish benefits rules upsets 19-year-old Hussein, the child refugee who has a Samsung Galaxy Note 9 and a gold watch, feels bullied by the Swedish authorities because he thinks it's too difficult to get his welfare benefits paid out to him. He thinks it's making it too difficult. So the money you receive, the welfare benefits money you receive there is through a app called Swish, which is kind of like a Swedish PayPal thing. But it is counted as income. That means that the person receives benefits, gets reduced compensation if money comes in through the Swish service. Hussein is a so-called unaccompanied youth who has turned 18. So in order to receive benefits, he has to report his income every month. When he discovered that the money received through Swish was deducted from the grant, it came as a shock. He claims that income on his Swish account is from when he and his friends eat at restaurants. One of them pays while others swish their part of the bill to that person. I feel bullied. All of the youths can swish each other, he tells them. And yeah. Hussein suggests that refugee youth should be allowed to swish up to a certain limit without money being deducted from the subsidy. So basically he's complaining about the welfare benefits thing. Not good enough. He's getting tons of free money from the Swedish taxpayers. He's getting tons of free money, but that is simply not good enough. He has to pay a tiny amount of tax on his free welfare benefits that he is just receiving. He just came here, I don't know, a year ago. He's receiving all this free money and he has to pay a tiny amount of tax on it. He is so upset. He has his brand new expensive Samsung Galaxy Note 9 smartphones. He has his gold watch. He has his Adidas jacket. But oh, poor him, he has to pay a tiny amount of tax on that welfare benefits he is receiving for free. It's just getting so bullied. Life is so hard. I really don't care. I really don't care. Why is this even a story? But this was actually reported first in the Swedish mainstream media, Aftonbladet. And I don't know, why do they even run this stupidity? I don't know. Why? Because these people are not refugees. Many of them are economic migrants. Like this guy is for sure an economic migrant. Most of them are. There's not a lot of real refugees. Most of them are economic migrants. Something I learned when I was down in Sicily reporting on the migrant crisis. I in fact met some of the migrants. I'll actually show you on screen the video I had done. Hang on a second. Here we go.
And you want
So I did this interview with refugees in Sicily. It was last year. I was actually on the street here in Sicily, and I found this group of migrants who just arrived there from the migrant boat Save the Children. Actually, they had been picked up by them down in Libya, been driven across the Mediterranean, and left there in Sicily, where they would make their way up to. They told me that they actually wanted to make their way up to England or Sweden because of money, they said. And I actually said this on camera. I'll just play a little bit of the video for you guys, so you can just see a little bit. And I highly recommend you go and watch the whole video yourselves afterwards.
And you want to go to Sweden, or is it or Germany?
England.
England?
Yeah.
Why do you want to go to England? Money?
Yeah.
Are you Muslim or Christian? Christian?
Yeah.
Is you're from Ethiopia? Is it bad for Christian in Ethiopia?
It's okay. It's good.
Okay.
Oh.
You're from Eritrea? Eritrea?
Yeah.
And you came from Libya, from the Libyan on the sea with Libya?
Yeah.
And it's,
20 meters. You're swim.
oh, you swim 20 meters
20
in Libya?
Yeah. La. Catania.
So yeah, I highly recommend you go and check out that whole video. That interview I did is very interesting, and you get an interesting view into the minds of these people who are coming here, and so on. And I see someone in the chat commenting that phones were ringing. Yeah, they had phones with them. They are these poor refugees coming into Europe, but they already have phones on them, and you can actually hear it ringing in the background. Quite hilarious. So yeah, that's the thing. And of course we should help these people if they need help, but we don't have enough money to be able to support the whole world as well. You know, you have to be wise. You cannot just invite the whole world and support them. It just won't work. We don't have the capacity for it, basically. So nothing bad against them as such. Of course they want to come for a better life, but you simply don't have the capacity to have the whole of Africa in Europe. It just doesn't work. It's just too much. We cannot support them all by ourselves. Instead, you should help them. Help themselves. You know, you can feed a man a fish, but he will be hungry the next day. But teach him to fish, and he will never be hungry. So my suggestion is maybe try and teach these guys to fish, and instead of just giving them the fish, if you understand what I'm saying. I think that would be a better idea. So we have a hang on a second. Yes, let me just find it. A story from Hungary. Let me just bring it up on screen. So Hungary is banning gender studies because they say it's an ideology and not science. So Hungary's populist government has banned gender studies degrees, citing low enrollment numbers that waste taxpayers' money, and because it's an ideology, not a science. Left-wing critics say it's academically problematic, politically unheard of in a democratic society, and argued gender study degree do lead to jobs. Yes, I'm sure they do. They lead to well, actually, I don't know. I don't think they do. Do they? They lead to these stupid jobs where, with SJWs, I don't know, trying to report people for hate speech on Twitter or something. That's probably the kind of job that they get. So Prime Minister Viktor Orban signed the decree, which went into effect on Saturday. And they said, quote, "The Hungarian government is of the clear view that people are born either men or women," Orban's chief of staff said in August. They lead their lives the way they think best, but beyond this, the Hungarian state does not wish to spend public funds on education in this area. And I don't know, this is just common sense. Why would this be an issue? It's just common sense. Gender studies is completely stupid. Why on earth would you talk about gender studies? I mean, it's not a thing. I mean, just a couple of, I don't know, just 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was unheard of, and all of a sudden you have these stupid things. You know, learn something better instead. Learn something that makes you smarter, not gender studies. Yes, Kate Valenti says in the chat, it leads to NPCs. Gender studies degrees, they lead to NPCs, worthless jobs, and should be abolished everywhere. I think everyone should follow Hungary's lead. It's just common sense. It's glad to see that some countries, like Hungary, has some common sense still in them. Yeah. Some countries still have common sense, and hopefully they can influence other countries too. To do some more common sense as well. And Kate Anders in the chat here and says 2 genders study. Yeah, there is. I don't know. It might be controversial to say, but there are only 2 genders, guys. Male and female. It says God created a male and female, and that's what I'm gonna go by. Thank you very much. Also reading on here, by the way, on the article says that the ban abolishes the CEU's Hungarian accredited 2 years master program in gender studies, which has about 20 students each year, including Americans. And now no one is able to enroll in the program. And apparently the program is actually supported by European Union funding. So the European Union is funding these gender studies thing. Seen as a hostile bastion of liberalism by Orban's administration, CEU students, so CEU is this Central European University is founded by George Soros, and it's one of the 2 universities in Hungary that teaches okay, now it all makes sense. It's actually George Soros University that is teaching this gender studies thing in Hungary. Okay, now it all makes sense. Of course. Why didn't I see that earlier? This Soros University, apparently the students have participated in that monologues and hate speech monologues, and they describe their program as being part of social change. Yes. It's actually very good that Hungary is cracking down on this, because this is how the left has been advancing their cultural Marxism. What Hungary is doing here is they're actually cracking down on cultural Marxism. They have this George Soros guy pushing cultural Marxism through the institutions, through the universities, brainwashing the youth with all of this nonsense garbage. And now Hungary is finally cracking down on it, saying no more, we cannot allow this. And that is exactly the right approach. That is exactly what you have to do to stop this indoctrination in the West. Period. That's it. I mean, you have to do it. Press 1 if you agree in the chat. Okay. Moving on to our last story before we will wrap this stream up. We have another one. I'll just bring it up on the screen again. It has to do with a similar topic. World cycling bronze medalist cries foul after a transgender woman wins gold. See, this is where equality gives you guys. You get this. So a transgender person, so a person was born as a man, but now identifies as a woman, very conveniently, won gold in this cycling race in the woman world. This person is the woman world champion cyclist. Was born a male, now identifies as a female and conveniently wins the gold medal. Is the world's best women cyclist. I mean, just look at It's no wonder that this person won. Just look at the size of this person compared to the women. He's like 2 or 3 times as big as the actual women. Of course he's going to win by a mile. Biology doesn't lie, guys. Rachel McKinnon, the person who won gold, is an assistant professor. Oh, I'm laughing so much. I'm feeling dizzy. Oh. Oh, wow. I'll just make it large on screen. Sorry, guys. The woman at 3rd place here actually wrote on Twitter that it's not fair, and so on. But the cyclist who won, Dr. Rachel McKinnon, says she said it, the 3rd place medalist said it was not fair, but then apologized. But the winner, gold medalist person, says that the apology is not accepted. And so on. And label critics who thinks this is bad are just transphobic bigots. If you don't accept that a man can win women's gold in cycling, you are a transphobic bigot. That's it's so stupid. It hurts the brain. By catering to cisgender people's views, that further transgenders people's oppression. When it comes to extending rights to a minority population, why would we ask the majority? Says McKinnon. So basically, what a cyclist is saying is that who cares about democracy? I bet a lot of white people were pissed off when we desegregated sports racially and allowed black people, but they had to deal with it. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Seriously, this is the kind of crap that we are seeing. This is exactly why Hungary abolished the gender studies degrees. This is exactly why you should abolish gender studies degrees and why Hungary was right. Perfect example right here. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I think actually we're gonna wrap this live stream up here tonight. Right now, that was actually the last story that I had. I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. Make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the stream, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get notifications whenever I go live or whenever I upload other videos as well. We have some of them coming that I'm working on, so make sure you do that. And thank you so much for watching tonight, guys. I really appreciate all of you tuning in, and I hope you had a good time. And yeah, I'm gonna sign off for the night here, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much, guys, and see you later.